Hello everyone, it's Kevin012 here, and I just want to talk about a few things. I was thinking about gaming growing up as a kid in comparison to today, like how much it has changed. I remember back in the day, I've been playing games since I could pick up a controller and understand well enough to play. So I was like 2 years old. Played a little bit of Atari 2600, and we had some Pong console. We've had like Pong and like racing or some racing game on it. Never played those a whole lot, but one thing we got was a Nintendo Entertainment System. And me and my brother, we used to play that all the time whenever we could, or when we weren't outside playing or something. But, I really enjoyed it. So that's kind of how I got into gaming. And, things really changed growing up. I remember, though, going to the rental store to get a game. That was how you found out if a game was good or not. There wasn't a such thing as reviews. You'd have to read a magazine, like before internet was really a thing. Like didn't have a internet until I was like 14 or something like that. It's like 10 or something. I forget my age. I was like 10, between 10 and 14 when we actually had internet. We had it for a little bit, and then we didn't have a computer after a while, and then didn't have anything. So it's not like you could really get a review. I was basically go to the rental store and rent the game, or you bought something, you just found out whether or not it was good or bad. I played my share of crappy games growing up, and but luckily wasn't too bad. I didn't play too many of the bad ones. Didn't own really any bad ones I can think of because you basically because of the rental stores was the reason you didn't have the crap ones. Oh man, I remember when was it Christmas and me and my brother, we got Super Mario Bros. 3. That was actually pretty awesome, and I remember so have many memories. I remember one time we went to the video store, didn't know what to get, and of course, my mom tried suggesting games like, "Hey, you should play this Mega Man game," and I think there were several times we went there and we avoided Mega Man because we seen the cover art. If you ever seen the original Mega Man cover art, it was terrible. Like you assumed that this game was gonna be trash. But one of those times we did decide to rent it, and that was a amazing experience. That's proof that you don't judge by the cover art. Because certain games actually had amazing cover art and they suck balls, you know. And then you have games like Mega Man, and the cover art looks like crap and they rock, you know. And then you had games where it's like, ooh, Fester's Quest, that sounds pretty cool. Like, loved the Addams Family, and I forget how we came by getting Fester's Quest. I can't really remember. It was I personally myself don't think it's a bad game. It's mediocre. It's kind of good. It's average, I would say. And then oh man, and then Battletoads, that was fantastic. I loved Battletoads. I believe it was my dad and his friend went away to school, and and had a Nintendo, and they picked up that game, and they were playing it, and they brought it back, and me and my brother go into it. It's pretty fun, even though a lot of people know on two players is pretty hard. Now, I used to watch like Angry Video Game Nerd, and I think he was purposely making the two-player look harder than it actually was. I don't know. Me and my brother did figure out some things that worked out better, like in the Wookiee hole. Instead of being one side or other, me or him, one of us would be up higher than other, and one of us would be down lower. So when you do your when you do your wrecking ball attack, you don't go and wrecking ball into the other person. But oh man, that was fun. I really loved NES. Never owned an SNES. We did borrow it from one of my dad's friends for a while. I remember we had his he had Super Metroid, and man, I loved that game. Even though me and my brother couldn't get very far, we got stuck, and we were like, "What the hell?" you know, it was really, really awkward trying to get anywhere. And he, our dad's friend, the one that owned it, he was all the way to Mother Brain, and me and my brother, being not thinking well enough, went and deleted his save. Oh, major base bomb there. Imagine being up to Mother Brain and just being about to finish the game, you didn't get around to it. You were going to get around to it when you get your Super Nintendo back. Imagine how he felt when he got that back. He was pissed. And I'll be pissed too. Imagine to put in, I don't know how much time. Like, you could beat the game in under 2 hours, but myself as playing, I remember my first time actually beating Super Metroid, which was, less than a year ago or a year ago, was the first time I've actually ever was able to beat Super Metroid, because we never owned Super Nintendo when I was a kid. I never got the games until I get older and actually can buy stuff myself. And the first time I played through it took me 15 hours. 15 hours, I know, that sounds bad. It was because I did a lot of exploring and a lot of looking over something, trying to get certain items. Like, I can see that there, but I can't reach it. Just screwing up a lot or whatever. It's not that bad. I'm actually pretty good at Super Metroid. Just slow. It was just slow getting through it, so I get the worst ending. She doesn't even take her helmet off. She just gives you thumbs up. Ooh, you did good, but you should have did a little bit better, But, yeah, there was that. And then we had a PlayStation. I remember when we first got a PlayStation. We had an NES, like I'm saying, for quite a few years. The PlayStation 2 was, I believe, had come out. Yeah, I believe it was PlayStation 2, and our friends had PlayStation 2s, and we had the PlayStation 1 we got for the little tiny slim, tiny PS1. I remember we got that, and that was interesting. And I loved it. I loved the game, different games, own and rent different games. We never really owned a whole lot of owned a lot of games. We did mostly renting or borrowed from friends. We got a couple. We got like Dead in the Water was the first game we ever got. Oh, if you ever get a chance to play Dead in the Water, don't play it. It's garbage. Basically, it's Twisted Metal and boats, but really, really bad. It's a really bad. It's like a boat boat combat game, not car combat. Boat combat is terrible. Don't ever play it. Man, I used to roll that thing across the floor and scratch it all up on purpose and freaking use it as a coaster. God, that game was terrible. And did eventually get a PS2. I think that was... I saved up bottle money until I bought a used PlayStation 2 from EB Games. I ended up getting one. That was quite a accomplishment. And then I did get a PS3. Did quite a few years when that came out. I was in Sea Cadets. Went away to camp. They pay money to go there, and I ended up getting one of those. Now I have a PS4. I have a PS3, a PS4. I still have my PS2. Was actually interesting. I got the N64. Of course, my PC. That's how I'm uploading this is onto my PC. So I do play quite a few PC games, and then I have the Retron 5 now. And no, not a lot of people are a fan of it, but I personally liked it. And I got Game Boy. I still have a Game Boy Advance SP that still works. The battery's still really good and it's funny. We got a PSP, a Vita, all that good stuff. But then I think about growing up, playing games, and then nowadays how much things have just changed overall. Like, for example, like I remember back in the day, you got a game. That's it. You got a game. There wasn't none of this pre-order stuff. There wasn't any of that other, there wasn't DLC or microtransactions. You got a game. You got a game. That's it. But it's funny. People complain about DLC, but technically back in the day, like, at least on Super Nintendo, one example of kind of DLC before DLC, actually, I actually have a couple, or expansions for that matter. Um, one game was Super Street Fighter. After, like, I never played the first one, Fighting Street. That not many people actually owned the TurboGrafx. I never knew one that owned one. I never seen it in an arcade. So Super Street Fighter 2 upwards, they would release a new version, like, one after other. They had Street Fighter 2, then they had Super Street Fighter 2, then Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, then Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers. All they really added was you can play the boss characters in this one. Oh, in this one over here, you play these extra two characters. People complain nowadays about DLC, but you only have to pay for the bonus content now. Back then, you want the bonus content, you had to go and repurchase the game again. But then there was games that literally had expansions. Freaking Sonic and Knuckles, when that came out. Like, you had the Sonic games, and then you had Sonic Knuckles, which added Knuckles into any of your Sonic games. That was literally an expansion pack. Think about that. Yeah, you stuck a cartridge on top of another cartridge. I think that's how it works, something like that. I never owned it myself, but that's basically how it worked. And that was what expansions were before. Nowadays, you get expansions. A lot of times it's digital. It's mostly for PC game. It was actually back in the day. It used to be the expansions were for PC mostly, except for things like Sonic and Knuckles. But never had a PC. It probably had a lot of PC back then because we just couldn't afford to keep one. I don't even know if it was we couldn't afford it. I think it was more my dad just didn't like us playing games, so he didn't have his own personal reason for PC, so he said screw it and get rid of it anyways. But nowadays, yeah, we have DLC, and I do understand to a point why people complain about microtransactions and DLC when it's stupid DLC like $2 for this character's this. Nowadays, come on. You don't need to charge for it. Back in the back, early on, when it was all cartridge based, like on the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis, yeah, you had to re-release a new game. People had to pay for it. And now, it's easy to put a new character into a game. Street Fighter. Why are you releasing DLC and charging us all this money for a couple new characters? You don't need to do it. It's called updates. And that's what's actually one benefit nowadays is updates. Might make a video go over like differences and stuff later, get more detail, but microtransactions, yeah, I understand. Except for like free to play games, I hate free to play. I hate free to play where it's basically freemium. You pay all this money for all these little things like, buy in-game gold or anything stupid like that. I can see why people complain, and I hate it. The one time though, DLC isn't always bad. Like when you get expansion for a game that adds like 30 extra hours onto the game, Witcher 3, for example, the expansion that just came out, yeah, that's understandable. Paying for that. Because you can't, I don't expect the company to give me that for free. So a lot of people there that are just, are just really cheap, don't understand how much work and they have to pay their employees to make this expansion. So it's not like, oh, here you go, have an expansion. You paid $60, so that's all we need from you. No, I understand why they would charge a little bit more for that, especially if the expansion's for like an online game like World of Warcraft. It is a little annoying that you get paid $15 a month for World of Warcraft plus buy the expansions. It should be either free to play and you just pay for the expansions, or monthly fee and to give you expansions free. For example, a lot of NCSoft games give you for the free expansions and they only charged you for online fees and stuff like that. But so yeah, I understand the whole microtransaction stuff and like just the way games have changed. And it's like, wonder what direction are games gonna go in from here on out. I remember when consoles used to be either leagues above PC or even just a little bit above PC, or just on par with PC. Like last gen with the PS3 was up there with PC, but now we get PS4 and Xbox One and they're weaker. Like, though I got consoles because I like the exclusives, and I do prefer to play in console just for my couple personal opinions, but I do agree PC is better, like graphically and whatnot. So I do agree, but just the way things have changed, it's like, where's gaming gonna go from here? Is it gonna get worse? Are we gonna eventually be buying a game and learn? Is every game gonna turn into Clash of Clans, where you just pay money for, you gotta wait hours on end to do anything? Yeah, you playing Grand Theft Auto, like a new Grand Theft Auto game? You can play for a little bit, but then you gotta wait. Or you pay $10 and play more right now. Imagine that. That would fucking suck. To play Grand Theft Auto or any game like that, any AAA title, you don't want to have stupid microtransactions. So I do understand that. Anyways, those are just my just some thoughts and opinions. Just thought I'd talk about it a little bit, and just a few things I was thinking about. Another thing, actually, before I go, is things like Konami and like companies like Konami and Capcom. I almost forgot to talk about that. Look where Konami has gone. Capcom's not as bad. They're still trying. They're bringing out Super Street Fighter 5, so they're still making games. Kinda. Not as good as it used to be, let's say that. Growing up, it was Konami and Capcom. Clash of companies. These were the two big hard-hitter companies. You seen Konami or Capcom on game, you very much knew it was good. Except for games like a lot of people hate Top Gun. Or the Ninja Turtles game. If you know anything, Ultra Games, that was actually Konami, because there was a limit of how many games the company can make a year, so they would make a side company just so they could release more games. But those companies were the ones to go to. Like, Konami was the company that you went to. And then you look, and nowadays they're making pachinko machines. To try to mobile, I don't think I ever noticed any of their mobile games. I don't play mobile. Sometimes I might turn it on and play something like Clash of Clans for like 5 minutes if I'm like waiting for a doctor's appointment or something. But think about it. The company you used to go to, they Contra was an amazing game. You had Castlevania, Blades of Steel. That was a pretty good one from Konami. Quite a few other games. Metal Gear. Now, granted, I originally played the original Nintendo game first and thought it was kind of shitty. Then I realized that the MSX was what I was on, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, or Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake was really good, even though it only released in Japan. And, well, I didn't play those games until I got the MSX emulator. Pretty good games. I played those. And then Metal Gear Solid when it came out. Now, that was when I first got into Metal Gear. I think that's when the majority of people got into it, because not a lot of people own MSXs. You know, the Metal Gear Solid series was amazing. Silent Hill. And look what happened after PT. PT. Think about it. That was going to look like it would, there was potential for a new Silent Hill game that was really awesome. No, like Silent Hill Downpour and Silent Hill Homecoming I liked, but a lot of people didn't like them, and I do understand why. They weren't as good. They weren't nearly as good. Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 was where it was at. I wasn't a fan of 4. Quite a few people, I guess, really liked 4, so hey, they're your opinion. I never really could get into 4. It kind of pissed me off. Just a few things, like, because Walter Sullivan chases you around everywhere, and it ruins your ability to search, and also the ghosts, you know, not be able to search for items, and then have to go to your apartment every single time you want to store items. I'm not going to go full detail if it would have to be a different discussion, because I don't want to go and make this a couple hours long. It's already hitting 22 minutes, so I'll probably end this pretty soon. But Konami has changed. Capcom wasn't doing too good for a while, but they fixed some problems. Not really sure 100% what's going on over there, but you probably heard quite a bit about what's going on with Konami. You know, not that long ago. Treating their employees like crap. Hideo Kojima left because he was just pissed off at their bullshit. You know, just things like that. And then the last game, just think about it. They might be giving up AAA titles, which kind of sucks. Maybe they'll come back. You know, Konami could make a comeback. Maybe I'll make a different video for that. I don't want to get into too much and rant on and on and on and keep this video going forever. But think about it. Metal Gear Solid 5, it's a Phantom Pain. It's the last one that Kojima is ever going to direct. He could make his own game kind of like Metal Gear, but couldn't call it Metal Gear unless he could somehow obtain the rights to it, but Konami's not going to give that up for very cheap if they're even willing to. And then Silent Hill, you know, pachinko machines. Pachinko machines. They don't even have those in North America, honestly. I don't freaking even care. Keep them in Japan. I don't care about shooting balls up into a machine and watching them bounce off stuff. You know what? We have that in North America. It's called pinball. But pinball actually has skill and it actually is fun. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with pachinko. There's reasons why people like those. It doesn't seem interesting to me. You know, but it's not part of our culture, so you probably just don't understand. But popular series like Silent Hill and Castlevania, making them into pachinko machines? Really? But that's just, you know, how things are. I hope gaming doesn't get too screwed up, and I hope everything friggin' goes well. Anyways, this has been Kevzer012, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Also, thumbs up the video if you liked it, thumbs down if you don't like it. I hope I didn't go on too long, getting into 25 minutes here. check out my Twitch. For my Twitch stream, I live stream pretty much everything. I have hundreds of games that in my collection, so I have quite a few we can go through from a bunch of different consoles and my PC. You know, check out my Facebook. Follow my Facebook and Twitter. They'll be down in the description if you want more updates when I upload videos or when I'm going on Twitch or whatever. You can check those out. You can keep update on there as well. This has been Kevzer012, and have a great day, everyone.